if you want someone that can quote your clients, send all the information over to QuickBooks, do a detailed map of the property so you have a pretty good rough estimate of what you're looking at, and all of these other things, but you don't want to pay them, you need to head over to NHBusinessShow.com/project quoting now, because that's what the service we have lined up for you. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hamster Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana, and today we are here with Abbe Hardiman of Your Abstract Assistant. Welcome to the show, Abbe.
Hello. So happy to be here. I'm so excited.
I know. I've been waiting for this for a while now.
I know. Me too. I reached out to you and I was like, I got to get on that show. That looks awesome.
Yeah, and that was a month or more, I want to say.
At least a month ago, I think. Yeah, because we had to reschedule one time. So I think it's been at least a month.
Yeah, probably.
I know. I just was saying, too, that you're going to have to, cross off your New Hampshire and write Maine because I'm coming from over the border today.
That's fine. You're close enough. You probably do a lot of New Hampshire business.
I do a ton of work in the Seacoast and in Portsmouth and all over I've done a couple jobs in Milton before. So I knew where I was going, trying to get here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Cool. So let's get it started. Tell me about Your Abstract Assistant, and we'll go from there.
All right. So I've worked in corporate America for 20 years. I've done a little bit of everything. I've done, and I started working when I was 9 years old. My parents actually owned a hotel on Lake Winnipesaukee, and so I kind of grew up in, we lived there. And I kind of grew up in hospitality and customer service, and so I always saw that side of owning your own business and always wanted that, but, I went to UNH and went to, after UNH, I was like, what am I going to do with myself? And didn't really know what I should do. So what did I do? I went to the happiest place on earth, and I moved to Florida, and I worked for Walt Disney World. Mm-hmm. So it was super fun. I hate to ever, we had to swear by blood that we would never badmouth Walt Disney World, and I never would because I love it so much, but it's just not the best place to work if you enjoy money or need money. Yeah. Because their pay is not very good. And this was in the late 90s, so maybe it's gotten better, but I kind of doubt it. Yeah. But I learned so much working there. I mean, they are the top-notch customer service, and I went to Disney University and, just learned a ton of stuff. So needing to make more money, I went to other jobs in business, sales and administration and all types of stuff. Kind of just looking for a job that not only paid well, but also made me happy. I literally have had a job where I've cried in the shower before going to work. So I've done a lot. Let's just leave it at that. And over time I worked, the last long job I had was for a biotechnology company in Portsmouth, and doing administrative assistance and, working on audits and just a lot of computer work and stuff like that. And I'm a super organized, detail-oriented person and a people person, and just somebody that loves to find solutions for people's issues in their daily lives. I mean, just whether it be through time management or organization or in my own life, I've seen it. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm 40, I want to do something that I love, and I want to work for myself. I want to own my own business, and Your Abstract Assistant was born. A friend of mine that I worked with said, just go get a notebook and write down everything you'd want your business to be. And that's what I did. Shout out to Rick. And I did that. And it was a million different things, my strong suits in life, my skill sets, which were organization and administrative assistance and sales and, marketing. And I have a creative side of just love to be creative and write. I've had a blog for the last 6 years called toofunnychicks.com, TOO, and love to write. And so just how can I turn things that I love to do that I truly believe help people into a money-making business? And I started off saying the bread and butter of my business was I was a professional organizer. So it's been about a little bit over 2 years. And that still is a huge part of my business. I'm a professional organizer. I work with anyone that's stressed out with stuff, from parents and single people and business owners and anyone that's just their stuff is giving them stress. And I just love it. It's so fun. It's like not work to me. It's like tomorrow I'm going to help somebody in their home office to set up systems in their home office, and I'm like, I can't wait. And like, how weird is that, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I love doing what I do, and it's been a total ride of, I mean, it's scary to start your own business in a lot of ways, and there's so much learning to do. It's kind of like jumping into a pool when you barely know how to swim, but
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing now, and I definitely looking to expand. And I was just telling you how my business name, people have said your business name is so vague, and that's how I like it, because you know, I've started helping people, small business owners, with their social media, which is something that I really love to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so should I tell you more about me, about my background? I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I don't. Sure, whatever you want.
All right.
I did have a couple questions though. Like,
Absolutely.
because you were talking about just like, with everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever run into there's too much and it's too kind of wide? Does that ever cause problems for you?
What do
Does
you
that
mean?
make sense? Well,
Like people's stuff?
no. I guess you could say that, but you handle social media, and then you handle like organizing people's stuff,
yeah.
and then you handle something else over here
Administrative,
and
yeah.
all the stuff.
Yep.
Do you run into that? Like, it's too wide to really have any sort of efficient either marketing
Yes.
plan or any of that type of stuff?
I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I totally get what you're saying now. Yes and no. I mean, it's funny. It's like you meet somebody, okay, and they're stressed out because they own their own small business. And this is another huge part of when I thought about starting this business, was I thought to myself, I'm sure there's so many small business owners that really could use some help, but they can't afford a full-time administrative person, somebody that can help them. And I thought, if somebody had somebody 4 hours a week or 12 hours a month or whatever it was, that could probably be pretty helpful to a lot of business owners. So getting back to your question was, I have started with people who I have worked for them 4 hours a week doing, virtual assistant type stuff. And then all of a sudden, our relationship grows. And then all of a sudden I'm organizing their pantry. And then all of a sudden they're like, can you help me with my Instagram account? And then, so honestly, I get what you're saying. And I think that too sometimes. Like, I don't want to spread myself too thin and offer too much. It's kind of like, a good analogy is, do you ever go to a restaurant, and again, I'm not going to badmouth the Cheesecake Factory because I love me some Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
But their menu is huge, right?
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
It's crazy. And a lot of times you'll think, can they do all this food well?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, because I haven't tried everything, because I always get cashew chicken.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that?
No, but what is it? I get this spicy peanut pasta or something there.
Like
it's absolutely fucking.
Is it pad thai?
I don't even know, but it's phenomenal.
God. I love Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
But I've only had 2 things on the menu. So again, my point was that I think that because of my history of what I've done in the past with customer service and administrative and my love of everything organized, that it doesn't work out like that. I mean, it's marketing wise, I just market whatever I want to bump up at that time. Like if I also do personal assistance, so I have personal assistant clients who, I could do anything from buy Christmas gifts for people and get them sent out to wherever in the country, to going to get them coffee, to doing this and that. So it's honestly just, what do you need help with? I mean, I know it sounds crazy. It might sound crazy, and it sometimes does to me when I say it out loud, but that truly is my business. Is I love finding solutions. I love helping people to de-stress their lives and take away the stuff that they don't necessarily want to do, so that they have time to do the things that they actually want and need to do, whether that's grow their business. Say it's a realtor. I can take away some of the administrative things that they don't love to do, so that they have more time to really focus on selling houses, or somebody that's in sales. They can focus on making those sales calls and doing those things, and I can take care of all their spreadsheets and their, things like that. So it really truly is just, if people are stressed out, that I meet with clients, or just meet out wherever I am, I just say, what stresses you out? What stresses you out?
Yeah. People
can say, well, my house is insane. I have 4 kids, and my husband and I both work, and it's just, I hate coming home every day because it's crazy. I mean, there's just stuff everywhere, and I go, I can help you with that. There's got to be there's definitely got to be some commitment and to that process, because it's not going to happen overnight. And honestly, I think people sometimes think it's organization, if we're talking about that part of my business, is a one and done, and it's absolutely not. It's something that you got to keep up with. It's a whole lifestyle change of staying organized. But I tell my clients all the time, I guarantee you that you will see a huge difference in your life if you make organization a priority in your life. So that's just one part of it that I'm just super passionate about, because I have definitely struggled in my own life. I have been somebody who holds on to things, because we all hold on to things, right? Because they're sentimental, or maybe we'll use that one day, or maybe I'll need 6 orange lampshades in my next house. These are literally things I've seen. I mean, just a lot of stuff. And a lot of times those days never come. So, I mean, I have struggled with this in my own life. I right now, for example, people ask me, what do I do with all this stuff that I'm never going to use, but I can't get rid of right now? And I'll go, everyone has that. You have that, right?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it's just stuff, right? I mean, just stuff that, there's going to be stuff that you are ready to get rid of, and stuff that you're not. And I always say, stuff that you're not, have some kind of spatial boundary for it. I have quite a t-shirt collection in my life, like concert t-shirts, or my high school tennis team t-shirts, that I'm just like, I'm not ready to let go of those. So I have a bin in my basement called forever, clothes, or sentimental stuff, or whatever. And that's totally fine. I mean, it's when the stuff in your life becomes a negative part of your life. Yeah. Right? I mean, I think that's the biggest part of it. So, yeah. I mean, I'm super passionate about, and I've said that again and again, but about helping people. Yeah. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, right? And I say this to my clients all the time, and I'll be honest with you, I am somebody that says everything. I have zero filter, and I just say what I mean and like to be authentic with everyone that I know, including my clients. And sometimes I think, should I have said that to my client? But I don't care. One of my things is 9 times out of 10, I'll walk into somebody's house that I'm going to organize for, and they have this face. They're like, I am so sorry. They apologize to me. You know, I'm so sorry that my house looks like this. And I say to them, you don't need to be sorry. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, right? And so that would be like me walking in here and saying, I'm sorry, I'm overweight. That's how I feel, because that is something I need to ask for help with. And if you are disorganized, you need to help with that. That's why I get a personal trainer or go to Weight Watchers, you know, because that is one of my weaknesses, that I need to ask for help. So we all need to be kinder to ourselves. We all super, super busy. And, you know, people have kids and jobs and families and a million other things that they want and need to do. And I just see, this is where I get off rambling, but I just truly believe if you can, set up those organizational systems that can simplify your daily life, and also kind of get in that habit of being more organized. It can super help your daily life, and also asking for help. I mean, whether it's hiring me or somebody helping you in your family, asking for help again. I mean, just because I think it's worth it to simplify your life, you know, to be very basic, because life is tough. Life is tough, man, you know, and asking for help and figuring out solutions is a great way to make life not so tough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So, before we roll into the second half of this,
okay,
I'm going to take a quick break for the sponsors, so everyone is hold right on. I've probably said this about 1,000 times now, and there's thousands and thousands of realtors in New Hampshire, mortgage brokers, insurance agents, reps, you name it. If you're in an industry, there's probably countless others out there doing the same job as you. So how do you stand out? Head over to nhbusinessshow.com/funnels and let me show you how to use social media to grow your audience and to bring in customers for yourself. Word of mouth is fantastic, but if no one knows who you are, there's no word of mouth. So you've got to jump on to the areas other people aren't doing, because I can tell you no one here does it. So nhbusinessshow.com/funnels, and let's get me and Kiara showing you how to make so much money online. In 2 weeks, me and John Hoffman are going to be sitting down here doing a massive interview on his new training program, the Gold Mine series. Now, for you guys, since you follow the New Hampshire Business Show, you get 25% off the program with the code NHBS25. So, and that's the number 25, as you can see right here. So, you're going to learn things like how to close deals better, how to present a better offer, everything you need as an entrepreneur to sell more, make more money, be more successful. So check it out, nhbusinessshow.com/Lamore, and then use the code NHBS25 to get your 25% off the program. Okay, so this is actually really good.
Okay.
Because there's a bunch of things that we're kind of touching on right now that people fail at all the time, and I think it's hysterical.
Okay.
Well, not hysterical, but it's funny, right?
Right.
So, from your opinion, working with other people and entrepreneurs and all that stuff, what are people typically failing at as far as organization or management, stuff like that? Do you have any insight on that?
Say it one more time.
Okay.
Ask me the question again.
Okay. So, when I say things that they're usually failing at, are there areas where you see more often than not people kind of slip up at, if that makes it
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you need to start with the basics, right? And, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're own a business, I mean, you got to have those systems in place to do the basics, the filing and the record keeping and the invoicing and the accounts payable and whatever your business is. Obviously it's going to be different for every business. It's like I have client files, where I keep super detailed records of everything that I do. So how do I maintain those systems? What is my process on making sure I get the paperwork that I want for each client filled out, and it's just, I think a lot of people forget to they're just so up here, like looking at like what's going to bring in the money, which I get, but also to kind of think about the down here.
Yeah.
Because the down here is where I believe all the stress comes, because people will say, I have 11 months of receipts that I need to take care of.
Yeah.
And then they're like losing their mind and they're crying and they're, stressing out to high heaven because it's like April 14th and they, legit have 11 months. Because in January they were all like, I'm going to be so organized. And it just kind of falls to the wayside because they don't have a process in place.
Yeah.
And I think some people, let me just tell you, when people come to my house, I feel so judged because people are probably all like, all my friends looking in my drawers like, this better be organized, So I think that was kind of random, but I think that I, for one, like to write stuff down. Like, what is the problem you're having? What is the problem I'm having with my business? Let's say it's, I'm not entering their information into this spreadsheet that I said I wanted to have.
Yeah.
And I'm like way behind on that. Well, why am I not entering it in? Is it a necessary step? Maybe it's not. So I think that's that solution finding to make your business better. And I mean, that can be in your life too. I mean, if you're late all the time for everything, why are you late all the time?
Yeah.
And it's not a judgmental thing, but I'm sure that gives you stress, right? If being late all the time brings you stress, how do you find a way to, what is causing you to be late? And that's what you can focus on. Mm-hmm. So again, off your initial question of what do entrepreneurs do wrong, but I think looking at that basic stuff, setting up those systems, because I think if you can keep up with that, it just eliminates this whole stress of your business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty right on what I was thinking anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because the big thing I see, and I see it in myself too all the time, because I'm not free of this.
No.
You're right. Like, we work on our businesses. Like, for me in the show, like, we're out here, I talk to a ton of people.
Yeah.
But then, all of a sudden, I have to go do accounting or anything like this, and it's like, everything's a mess, and and then the process of trying to get guests scheduled can get absolutely insane. And then people canceling on me day of, and everything can go absolutely nuts.
Right.
And there's no systems there. It's just me figuring it out as we go, because we're a new show.
Kind of just like juggling like 30 balls in the air all the time.
Yeah. Plus accounting, plus sponsors, and it's like
Absolutely.
So I can see that.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think that's part of the reason why you're probably like a target audience for me, because you are a small business owner who's looking to grow your business but want to really put your focus on what you're passionate about, what your genuine talents are for, which is I'm not quite sure, I don't know you that well, but I mean this show or whatever, and that kind of administrative stuff falls by the wayside and then probably gives you stress. Right? Does it?
Yeah. I mean, you're right on.
Right.
Like, this is what I like to do.
Yeah, right. And people are like, I've had so many people say that to me. I don't want to do all the other stuff. I just want to do XYZ, whatever my business is,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that is
That
not
is
a
your
thing
business.
that can happen.
Yeah.
You know, you got to pay your taxes, but, and you got to like keep, you know, your paperwork together or things will fall apart. But ask for help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I always say this, and this can be used in every situation. And it's funny, I just actually wrote a article or whatever for a website that their focus is just like finding your ultimate joy in life, and you know why people live in unhappiness. So they asked me to write a piece on why organizing is important and how it can change your life, and so I did. And I wrote about my theory of backpacks,
Mm-hmm.
which is if you think about everything that you have in your brain as a backpack, if you visualize that, it's crazy. Like if you think all your day-to-day stuff, all your family stuff, all your day-to-day responsibilities, you know, if you have kids, all their stuff, if you have a business, if you have, you know, everyone's own personal issues and money and buying groceries and getting the kids home, you know, helping the kids with their homework, all your million things. If you think of everything as a backpack, like, and think about walking around with that all day, like you're like incredible Sherpa, you know, like, is that the right word? Is
Yeah.
that the right word?
Yeah, it
Sherpa?
probably works.
You know, like you're just carrying all this stuff. I visualize this all the time, and so you don't want to walk around like that. So like, what can you remove? And part of that is that solution planning, that solution finding of, and also therapy if you need that, if you're carrying around, you know, bigger problems
Other
like that.
things, yes.
That's right, you know. But like if it's, you know, so many people struggle with their homes, you know, being so disorganized and cluttered that they don't want to go home. I mean, and people struggle in growing their business because of disorganization, you know. So I think that if you just kind of sit back, take a minute, write down like everything that stresses you out. Like for you, for example, you know, like write down every single thing that causes you headaches with your business or stops you from getting your business to a place that you want it to be, and then really break it apart of how to fix that.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that requires hiring an abstract assistant. And it truly brings me so much pleasure to help people, you know? I mean, it's my business, so I get to live that life that I wanted to live, which is making my own schedule and honestly choosing who I work with. I mean, that's a big part of it too. And, you know, helping as many people as I can to find their true happiness.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds kind of cheesy and kind of like over the top with what I do, but I've seen it, you know, it's so exciting. It's like I've cried with my clients before, you know, of just, you know, their relief of their life.
Yeah.
Because life is stressful, you know, right? And we have so much to do and so many things to think about. And if I can take 3 things off your plate, like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah. I had something with some of my clients I like to talk about, and it's very similar to what you were saying with writing everything down. But what I like to do is, I forget what it's called. I just call it mind mapping, essentially. Same concept.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll take like sticky notes.
Yes.
And each sticky note, I'll write down something that's bothering me, and you put it on the wall.
Yes.
And then every single sticky note's its own thought.
Yep.
And after a while, you can actually see, like, okay, kind of like you visualizing a backpack, but I like to actually just see it out in front of me, and you're like,
right.
this is literally everything I can think of that's bothering me.
Yeah.
And then you can look at that wall and be like, well, I can take care of this in a couple of seconds.
Absolutely.
And then you go do it, rip it off, and then eventually it takes that pressure off your mind where you just feel stressed and all that. So
it's so true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I love what you said about that would only take a few seconds. Because, I mean, so many of the things, right?
Yeah.
So many of the things. Just send that email. Go do that sink of dishes. Like, and again, you know, I always don't want to like put more pressure on people. I mean, I get that people are stressed out and people have a lot of stuff to do, but it's going back to my weight analogy. You know, it's like I want and need to lose weight, and it gets very overwhelming to me. And I'm sure people can relate to this in so many different arenas of life, right? And I like someday I'm going to write a book called, well, this is kind of off topic too, but the psychology, God, off topic, my brain is crazy. The psychology of disorganization. But it stems from this like interesting theory I have about overwhelm. And I guess it's not really interesting. I'm sure many people already know this, but I don't think they think about it enough. Like when you're overwhelmed, I'll just speak for me. When I'm overwhelmed, what do? Nothing. Right? When you're overwhelmed, most people just do nothing. And that's what I think happens with a lot of people's houses, for example. Yeah. You know, like they're so overwhelmed with the clutter and the stuff in their house that they just do nothing. Yeah. I get overwhelmed with, you know, thinking I need to lose this much weight, and how almost 42 years old, and I've tried everything and blah, blah, blah. How am I going to make it happen this time? But instead of doing nothing, go for a 10-minute walk. Instead of doing nothing, go organize your junk drawer. And it's those baby steps that we all need to take when we're feeling overwhelmed, because it's just, has it ever, I don't know if you can relate to this, but has it ever not become a snowball effect?
No, it literally does, like every time.
Every time.
Because you said there's not much you can do about it. Well, there's actually a lot you can do about it. The problem is when you let all the little things start piling up and piling up and piling up, they cause a lot of stress. And those things, as you said, you start shutting down. Yeah. And once you shut down, other things keep piling on. It's not going away.
They're not going away. It's so
and
true.
Then it just gets worse.
Yep.
And then you have to deal with all of it as you're going.
And, and it becomes a bigger stress and a bigger problem. Like, you know, it's another great example is the mail. I mean, almost all my clients tell me that mail is an issue. You know, like you get your mail, and then what happens? Your whole dining room table is covered with mail. Yeah. Or all my clients that I'm like probably telling their stories, and I'll say, it's not just your story, it's everyone's story. And then they're like, then they're having a dinner party. So they take all the mail off the dining room table and put it in a Tupperware, you know, a Rubbermaid container, and put it in a closet. And then they didn't pay their bills. Yeah. You know, because it just happens. But so again, it's just going back to that, what's your system for your mail? Yeah. And as like obnoxious as that may sound and annoying, it's a fact of life, right? That you gotta deal with your mail. This could be, you could insert pretty much any word, mail, you know, but go get your mail, bring it in your house, put the junk mail in the trash, in the recycling or in the trash, take out the action items. Something I love, I mean, again, side note, that I love to do is put a sticky note on that action item. And what is the action? Even if it's just a bill, just write pay by May 18th and put it, and again, have a system where you put your bills that need to be paid, you know, and it is, it's just a work in progress. I'm a work in progress with it. I mean, I love organization. Like, I can't even think of an analogy right now. Like, I love organization so much, but I still have parts of my house that are disorganized or don't have a great system or whatever. And it's just always something like I got to think of a new system for that, you know, filing my receipts, you know, that's not working out so good for me right now because I just have this like expansion folder and it's just expanding, you know, so I got to file those receipts. But so nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect, but it's worth that time, and making it a priority is kind of like my bottom line. It's worth getting your life organized because it's a weight off, no pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah, and just kind of as we start wrapping up here, I think
Yeah.
the big takeaways from this is, one, get those systems in place, so really work on that foundation.
Yeah.
And then two, this is kind of my own point, is know what's wrong. Because
Right.
I think that's something people even
Absolutely.
overlook all the time, is they don't even know why they're upset or why
Right.
they're... So really dig in, figure out what's going on in here or up here, like
Right.
what's causing you problems, what's stressing you out, and then, like I said, once you can visualize all of it, start attacking your problems. Don't let them
Yep.
just grow up. Like, you might not be able to take on the big ones right now, but you're like, oh, pick up clothes off the floor.
Absolutely.
I can do that.
Absolutely.
That's a couple of minutes, and
Yep.
then you start feeling a little better. And
That's
you know,
right. You know, and some people aren't solution oriented.
Yeah.
You know, they just, everyone has their issues, and, but I just firmly believe in that making that a priority of your life, of being introspective and thoughtful about why you're so stressed out, and being proactive about it can change your life.
Yeah.
I mean, I firmly believe that. And I think too, it's like, I can't remember if I've said this now, but I'm always telling myself, and I tell other people too, it's like, do your best in that moment. That's all we can do. I am my own worst critic, like most people, and always wishing I was doing more and doing better and this and that, and not sitting on my couch watching the Jersey Shore reunion show for 3 hours. Like, I could be out doing this right now instead of, watching, the Jersey Shore reunion. Like, I love it though. I love that show. I'm seriously so sad. But offer yourself kindness. Like, maybe that's what I need right now. Maybe I need to relax and have some time to relax and let my brain rest. You know what I mean? But also at the same time, make it a priority, make a list of the issues and finding solutions for them.
Yeah. Cool.
And if you can't, call your abstract assistant.
Yeah. There you go.
Right?
All right. Awesome. So thank you so much.
Thank
for
you
joining me
so
on the
much for
show
having
today.
me. It was
Absolutely.
so fun. I had a great time, and I hope I didn't ramble too much.
No, you did a great job.
All right.
People that want to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
Abstractassistant.com or Facebook or Twitter, Instagram. I do a lot on social media, YouTube channel, all Abstract Assistant, or Twitter is the only one that's Abstract Assist.
Nice.
So that's it.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me. This is an awesome show, and I just wish you the most luck too.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all learned something and got a lot out of this today. I know I did. And we'll roll out with the last word from our sponsors, and everyone have a great day. Summer is definitely finally almost here. Well, / spring. I think spring is going to be a no show this year. But so if you're still looking to get out there, hit the beach, hit the pools, bikinis, swimsuits, all that good stuff, head over to anniesbusinessshow.com/ideal to make sure you're in the shape you want to be in, because there's nothing like being healthy and confident when you hit the beach.